Welcome back to another episode of The Journey. It's a late night, past when I normally go to bed. At least my goal to go to bed. Yeah, tomorrow's the big day. As you can tell, I'm physically tired. Stuffed debris in my eyes from pressure washing. Yeah, I think the thing that's been on my mind is, how do I put this? What is the direction I essentially want to go in terms of quality, but also the efficiency of my work, my company. So here's why this comes up. So when I first started pressure washing, I thought it was a good idea. Well, yeah, I'll restart the story because I need to collect myself. It's funny. So when I first started pressure washing, I was broke, had no money, and I thought the best way to make some money was sell everything I owned. I had enough for $1,400, I think, or $1,200 worth of pressure washing gear. I got a surface cleaner, 4-gallon tank of gas, and a pressure washer. I had all three of those things. Actually, I filled the gas tank up with old gas. Didn't know you're not supposed to do that. Destroyed the pressure washer. Then I thought it was a good idea, this is how little I know about engines, to tip the pressure washer upside down and put it over a Home Depot bucket so it can empty the old gas in there. Well, I didn't know that that's literally how you flood an engine. So the next day when I go to my first job, I thought it was a great idea to do that, by the way. And I was like, this is the first day experience. I had always heard everyone on their first day, they always make mistakes. They're super nervous. And yeah, I was a little nervous, but I was broke. I had nothing to lose. And I remember thinking to myself when I woke up on time, had all my stuff ready in the car, and I was like, I'm about to make $400 today, baby, in only 3 hours. And that was a 50% off job, so I could get some reviews and some referrals, so I could get more jobs going as fast as possible and build up basically almost like a brand. Or not a brand, but a customer base. So I wake up, feel great, thinking to myself, I'm going to crush the day. Everyone else always says their first day goes horrible and they make a bunch of mistakes. I am different. My name is Ethan Christopher Hare, and I am sexy, and I do not make mistakes. God created me this way. Well, I show up to the job. For the next 5 hours, I tried to start this pressure washer because the engine was flooded. So I had no clue what I was doing. Turns out the engine was flooded. I run to Home Depot, grab a part, run back from Home Depot, try to fix it. I have no clue what I'm doing because I don't know anything about engines. Then I go back to Home Depot, ask them, do they have any pressure washing rentals? They have none. So then I go to H&R Rentals, 30 minutes away. Mind you, this is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I started at the job site at 8 a.m. I've been there for, let's do the math, 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 or 7 hours. We'll just say that. 6 or 7 hours. And then I was like, okay. So I finally go get a rental. I come back. I get the pressure washing job done. I get it done, and then I realize, oh, frick. I've been going too fast. I hadn't researched how to really pressure wash with the surface cleaner. I had a surface cleaner, 20-incher, industrial standard size, so it could make the job go really fast. I thought the faster, the more efficient, the more money I'll make because I'll be able to get more jobs done in a day. And I'll still be able to charge a good amount of money and undercut other people with low prices. Later learned on how offers work. Still learning, obviously. But learned you're not supposed to do that to make more money. So, mistake learned there. But but so I finally get back. It's 3:00 in the afternoon, and I'm like, I'm gonna get it done finally. So I work on it. I get the job done, and then I look up the driveway. The water has dried at this point, and I look up and realize, oh frick, the entire driveway looks like a checkers board or like a plaid shirt. There's just line after line, and I was like, oh no. So what I found out was you're not supposed to move and go fast with the surface cleaner. So then I had to redo it as quickly as I could before the homeowner could do it, but not too quick so that I wouldn't make more lines. So I finally get the job done. It looks all beautiful. Tell the homeowner after I get finished at, I think 5:30, 6 o'clock. Mind you, I was there at 8 a.m. This is a job that should only take me 3 hours. And it took me over 9 hours to do that job. So what I learned that day: A, don't be too cocky. B, have contingency plans. And C, understand what the heck you're doing. But the main lesson is learn while doing. Don't always just sit around and wait for things to happen for you and to wait for the perfect plan. Learn as you're doing, but also prepare a little bit beforehand and know what you're doing. Just a tiny bit. Then you can start getting the ball moving. So you're not doing this mental masturbation of waiting until you get the right advice to start the business, or waiting until you get the right perfect business plan before you finally take that action. Just do it. Just pull the plug and freaking do it. So that was what I learned. But to get back to my original point, the reason why I'm thinking about quality but also efficiency and speed in regards to the business is if we look at a service business, right? The perfect outcome, if we were talking like a God level outcome for a customer, a client, would be whatever the service they have happens within is the second they order it and they basically pay for it, it goes and they get that service or that product instantaneously or instantly. So they get the product instantly, then they automatically get the reward, and the reward is better and the product is better than what they expected. Now it's so good they want to refer it to everyone else. It's way more valuable than the price they paid. And then you make a bunch of money off it. That's the perfect idea for a service-based business. Now you just take that speed level, the offer, the price, the product, all of that, and then you just try to get as close to it as possible. So for me, what I'm working on with the company is trying to figure out how can I get this job, this service done as quickly as possible, as efficiently as possible, and with the best quality as possible to do the most quantity and volume we possibly can. So we're trying to I'm thinking of all the different options, from like how to get to the house as quickly as possible, how to get the job as done as fast as possible, what are the machines you need, everything, the fastest machine possible. I even was doing the math on seeing if I could get a helicopter. I was thinking of doing, this is a couple years down the line, once I have enough cash flow for this for the company. Once the company has enough cash flow, this is the goal. And I was experimenting with this. Get a helicopter, buy like a $300,000 1980s, I don't know, helicopter, pull all of the back seats out, only have the front two seats. So you can have a pilot and the pressure washer employee, and then put all the gear in the back, or put like 4 seats and then have all the pressure washing gear in the way back. They fly to the house so that they can get rid of all traffic, all those worries or anything like that. And we'll be able to get to farther, more remote locations, but you can get those bigger houses in more remote locations that are farther away from the main service areas. And then you repel the product or the service people and repel all the stuff you use for this, like, to complete the service. And then from there, they could fly away, pick up the new people, and have those people do whatever the service is we have them do. So I was doing the math on it, and it'd be like $300,000 for a helicopter. Then you need to pay the pilot, and they'd probably be making close to six figures. That's what a lot of them do, or make at least. And then you also have to factor in ripping out the seats and making a custom storage area for the pressure washing or whatever the service, whether it be window cleaning or house organizing or something like that, or landscaping. So trying to do that and all the different things. And when I ended up doing all the math, it was like, it's going to come out to like having to do 1,000 jobs would equal, no, not even that. It'd be like 1,500, 2,000 jobs would equal, pressure washing jobs would equal that. So I got vetoed. Also, I don't have the money to do that, obviously, but keep it in the back of the head. You could use it. I don't have it patented. So, the reason why it's been on my mind is, what is the strategy I want to go for right now? Do I want to build the skill and build the client base while investing less in tools, units, materials, whatever you want to call them, so that we can pressure wash slower. We'll be able to provide the service slower, but the individuals, I'll be able to scale it easier, whatever the business is. And then, so let's put it in perspective. So yeah, you could scale it easier because you're paying less, or I could pay more for faster, quicker, more efficient products that allow my company to perform the service more efficiently, faster, and save time and get that done. Remember, that perfect level of service happening as quickly, as soon as the individual purchases it. If you take that level, it's okay. Then how do you work back from there? So it's getting the fastest machines, getting the fastest pressure washers, lawn mowers, having the most efficient workers, those type of things. But they also have to have good customer service, all these different things that come in, those intangibles. So it's like, okay, do I want to scale but also invest less and then be able to hire more? Or do I want to look long term, better quality and higher speed, but spend more money and then scale at a slower pace? And I think, I won't say the direction I'm moving in, but you always want to go long term versus really quick short term. In the book I'm reading right now, Choose Your Enemies Wisely by Patrick Bet-David, he talks about investing for short term versus long term. So for example, Facebook, they said, hey, if any one of our employees want to work longer hours after 6 o'clock, we'll provide free laundry and free dinner for you. So they had that for years. So a bunch of people would stay after 6 o'clock. They invested in their culture for long term, not for short term. Now, recently, Facebook had gotten rid of that because to allow them to have better budget. Now, are they investing long term or short term in terms of culture? They're investing short term because it helps their budget, but long term, it's destroying their culture because it gets rid of a culture of hard work, extra hours, pushing more, and the will to work more. So, the reason why I think of that is what am I trying to build? I'm trying to build a movement, a business that goes beyond what my lifespan, basically. I'm trying to build something that allows individuals after high school to not have to go to college. I'm on a mission. I am on a mission to build a business that allows individuals that graduate high school to not have to go to college, and they can go in and make more than what the college. Well, yeah, I'm on a mission. I am on a mission to build a business that allows individuals who graduate high school to make more than what a college graduate would make coming out of college. My goal is to allow people to be able to support families off of not having to go to college and having a job doing pressure washing or home services. My goal is to have a company that allows individuals to build skills, sales, accounting, managing from a young age, from the moment they're able to work. I don't think people understand this. The amount of people that say you have to go to college to make money or have a life or have a purpose or be able to provide a family is so much. And even people say, oh, but you can, all do those things. Those people say those outside of a house, not behind closed doors. But once it gets into closed doors, the majority of them, at least in my experience, they'll say, you can't succeed if you don't go to college. And recently I was talking to, who was it? I was talking to this woman this other day, and she was from the 70s. She was born then, not from the 70s, but she was born in the 70s. And she said, 60s. And she was talking about how in her generation, it was looked down upon to go into the trades or not go to college or not go to community college. But it was specifically, she was talking about going to trades. And so many people were saying, hey, you have to go into college, go to college, go to college, go to college. Don't go into trades, don't go to trades, don't go to trades. It was just looked down upon to go into trades. Now there's a shift in the workplace, in the workforce. Yeah, workforce, not workplace. There's a shift towards being a plumber, being an electrician, doing home services, stuff that you don't need a college degree for. That is where the money is. That's where the experience. That's where it all is now. And you don't need to go to college to make more money or be successful. A lot of plumbers, a lot of electricians make more money than the majority of college graduates if they work somewhat hard. So one of the things she was saying was, in my generation, Generation Z, Gen Z, we're starting to realize that you don't need to go to college. There's alternate paths, as our parents are all telling us, especially in more affluent areas. You need to go to college. You need to go to college because that's what their parents told them. But when you look at the statistics, at least in regards to coming from an affluent area, what is predicting of your income success is the area code you're born in, you lived in, being around a few people. It's the group you're around, basically, the people, the income of a few people, or one person actually. It's an income of one person that makes over 6 figures. Whatever that income is, you're more likely you're going to have a higher income. And then on top of it, it's the intangible, the will to work. But just from those two things, it was like, okay, why would an individual want to go to college if they're not going to be a lawyer, not going to be an attorney, not going to be a doctor, not going to be an accountant, and they know what they want to do, and they don't just want to go there for social life, then why would an individual want to go there if they already have a group that's around them where they're born in a higher income area code? So, just some thoughts for you about that. Yeah, tomorrow's the big day for a sales day. So, one of the funny things, actually, quick story. So I was at a pressure washing job and using a old pressure washer that was probably about a decade old. And while I was using it, I turned around after I turned off the water. Never seen this before. And all of a sudden, I turn around after turning off the water, and the hose that's a part of the pressure washer, not the garden hose, but the hose that is attached to the pressure washer, I turn around and it explodes. Just combusts in half. It's like, what the heck? So, I just learned that from pressure, I guess, garden hoses can combust. At least that's my best guess. So, don't quote me on that. I'm not a physics major. Neither am I a science major. I do like science, though, but I didn't really study it that much. So, and my physics teacher barely spoke English, so it's hard to learn physics. And I barely passed that class. But you win some, you lose some, and you learn no matter what. So, I think, back to tomorrow. Tomorrow's a freaking big day. Ready to crush it. I think it's interesting. Writing out the sales scripts, going over objections, the new laws that are being passed regarding pressure washing, cleaning cars, oils, stuff going to drains. I obsess over this stuff because then it changes how I provide offers and how I can change prices. And that's what I'm interested in, systems, offers, and missions and visions. And I think that's what's fun about it, is with sales, you're trying to convince an individual of a vision of some sort of potential that they are involved in, and they directly benefit, and then in turn they give you something in exchange. That happens to be currency, money. At one point it was gold. Other times it was, my favorite one was in Germany, soldiers their form was a cigarette. So, and the dollar was horrible. Their currency was horrible. They would exchange a cigarette was worth like a couple pieces of bread, chicken. So you could give that. So over different times, currency has developed through economic downturns and booms. And so one of the things that interests me about sales, and this is why I'm so excited about doing Sales Saturdays, is we get to have a team environment where it feels like that Friday night. It feels like when you're playing sports, being on that team. And then on top of it, you're getting to make some freaking money, baby. And learning skills as well. Learning the skill of rejection, which I think is one of the most important skills in life. You're getting 2 in 1. Sales, rejection, and you can't really have one without the other. I think rejection, the skill of rejection, the skill of rejection I think is so vital because, let's look at it this way. So, my first time ever doing door-to-door sales, I tried, this is for pressure washing. I said, okay, I want some more sales. I just pressure washed this one neighbor's house, and I want to go do all those houses in that neighborhood. I said, I can freaking do it, baby, because I am Ethan Hare. If you don't know by now, I have unbreakable self-confidence. A little too much confidence sometimes, but that's what makes me unique. So, I knock on the first door. And the person, no joke, says, well, this person says, I'm good. I already have my own pressure washer. And I was like, okay. Didn't respond to objection, but I was like, okay, I just got over that rejection. Then I walk back to my car and I sit in my car and I go, that freaking sucked. I don't want that again. And it took me 15 minutes before I could finally convince myself. And I go, you know what? This is what hard feels like. Most people quit at this point. So I said, we're going to knock on every single one of those doors in the entire neighborhood until I get to the very end of that neighborhood, the last part of that street. And then I'll get to come back once I knock on every single one of them. So then in the next house, I knock on that one. And the person doesn't know how to speak English. And I wish I had Google Translate. And I go, hey, my name is Ethan Hare. I just wanted to come. I just pressure washed your neighbor's driveway. And they said you're interested in pressure washing. I would love to pressure wash for you. And they go, repeat again. And I'm like, And so I tell them, I was like, hey, my name is Ethan. And I'd love to pressure wash for you. I just pressure washed your neighbor's place. It looks beautiful. And I'd love to make your driveway as beautiful as this house right here. And they go, can you repeat one more time? But it was really bad English. And so I'm like, oh, shoot. Wish I Google Translate at that point. And so I go to the next house. So I got rejected from that one. Then I go to the next house. And that one, then they say, we're good. We don't need pressure washing. We have our own pressure washer. Then I go to the next house. They don't answer. They actually walk up to the door. I see them look at me. And then they walk away. And then go to the next house. I knock on their door. They say, hey, we're good. We don't really want to. Don't have it in the budget. And I didn't respond back to objection. I say, okay. Then I should have learned how to do a little bit of sales beforehand. But it's learn how you learn by doing. Then I go to the next house, get rejected. Go to the next house, get rejected. Go to the next house, get rejected. I make 0 sales, 0 interest, and 0 leads. I got rejected to every single one of the houses. So then I get to leave. That day I realized what hard feels like when people quit, and the skill of going through rejection and not quitting. I realize how valuable that is, and I hope every single one of the people that is around me, I employ, and the people that I get to impact, that they learn that when they get rejected, that when they face difficulty, that they get back up again, and then they try again. And so that's one of the things that I'm super excited about with Sales Saturdays, is having the guys getting to learn how to deal with rejection. So that won't only translate over to business, or when they go on to other things in life, if they choose not to stay with the company, is in negotiation or doing phone call sales, or maybe it's even more door knocking. But it'll also translate over to dating, when they ask that girl out, or they walk up to a girl and be like, hey, I think you're really cute, I'd just like to ask you for the number. And the chick goes, no, you're ugly, or something like that. Just learning to deal with rejection is a skill not a lot of people in this generation have, and learning to take that risk. And so that's one of the things I want to instill in my employees and the people around me, is learning to deal with rejection. It's one of the best skills in the world, is being able to deal with knocking on a door and getting told, no, I'm not interested, and then figuring out how you can create on 2 different terms, on your terms and on their terms, how to work something out. I think the skill of overcoming rejection is beautiful because you're taking a risk, hoping that there's going to be a reward. But 9 times out of 10, there's not going to be one. But you can learn how to turn the odds in your favor. That's with sales, that's with business, that's with dating, it's with style, clothes. Learning how to take a risk is one of the greatest things an individual can learn in life. And that's what I hope my employees will learn. So, can't wait to talk after tomorrow and talk to you guys next Tuesday. Peace.